What's up, everybody? Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm on my webcam today on my Mac. So, you're probably used to seeing me differently. Hey, what's up? So, today I wanted to talk about this government shutdown. The government is still shut down and companies are not hiring. I was on LinkedIn. Let me open up my stuff so I can give you accurate information. But I'm on LinkedIn right now and I'm looking and it's saying Amazon is cutting 4,000 corporate jobs. Um, it's just so much going on. And I'm like, what is going on? As far as all this hiring and not hiring, I know Walmart said that they were not going to be hiring and looking more into automation. I think Target even said something like that too. I don't want to just be all on my phone and but I can just do a quick Google and say companies that are not that have decided to not hire and see what it says. But it's just getting strange out here. It's getting strange. I think I've spoken on this before about how you notice that the goal is to focus more on AI and automation. I've said that for a while, and just a quick Google search. It says companies are currently not hiring as much due to factors like economic uncertainty, which is also true. We know that as well because the government is shut down, the tariffs, and all this and that. It's all just kind of going into itself and causing this uncertainty, which is trickling down into society and affecting us, the average person. But yes, the companies are not currently hiring much due to factors like economic uncertainty, the slowdown in planned growth, and a significant degree decrease in entry level hiring. I don't know if that's true or not. The decrease in entry level hiring, because even with basic entry level jobs, anyone can take that job, even if they have a doctorate. So there are people that would work if those jobs are available depending on where they are. So I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like that's just something that is being said. I mean, I do know that a lot of kids, um, as we've seen from data, don't want to go to college or relying more on doing different jobs like social, content creation, starting their own businesses, using AI to do their own thing as well. So I don't really know about that. There are still kids that are out here that are, looking to work. So I don't really believe that one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I do agree. Oh, yeah, changes in immigration, of course. And but like it says, industry specific challenges. I agree with that. Industry specific challenges, yes. But just straight out, nobody hiring because there's no one available, I don't technically believe that. I think it has a lot to do with industry and a lot to do with not being prepared for when children are in the high school and then straight out leaving and how they can't just enter straight into a job because they aren't given the required skills and knowledge. So I do agree with that, but the availability is there. And I think that also comes from companies not being willing to train people, not willing to invest in people enough, but more willing to invest in technology when the people that are working or the people that they need to hire still have to understand and are still going to be utilizing these technologies. The technology is not just going to straight wipe out what people are able to do and what people are doing. So Um, it's a strange time, but what is concerning and what is not making sense to me is there's no movement when it comes to this government being shut down. And I'm noticing that. And when I'm in spaces like LinkedIn, it's quiet. It's as if everyone's suffering in silence. And that's strange to me. I feel like everyone should be screaming, like, what is going on? I need to work. And I'm finding that people are very fearful, and when they get fearful, they're quiet, and I don't understand that. You should be loud. You should be loud about why you need to go back to work, why, politicians need to come together because as I know, as being a veteran, You are very prideful about your job and about representing the country. And I just feel like everyone's just quiet. And I guess that's because, usually when you have a government job or you work in military or something like that, you usually are more submissive, more quiet about things. I do get that, but it's getting strange. It's getting strange that, or maybe it's just because my algorithm, I'm not really actively on LinkedIn like how I used to as far as commenting and engaging. So maybe that's why I don't see it and I don't see any outrage or fear. It's quiet. And then, of course, with it being social media, everyone is putting on this facade, posting pictures and, oh, life is a struggle, and it's not real, it's not reality. And I'm just trying to make sense of it. That's all. What is going on? Like, what is going on? Nobody is screaming. Nobody is coming off as if there's, concern. And there should be concern, especially if you're living in like the Maryland, DC area. It's very expensive there. And if you are not getting paid and you're not getting your check, you should be losing your mind right now. Like, mortgage got to get paid, you got to eat, things like that. Even and then you're furloughed, so you're still going to work. You still got to go to work when you're not getting paid. And then when I think about that, I, who all are not getting paid from this government shutdown? That is something that I really, really want to know. Who I know military wasn't getting paid, but then that, now they are getting paid. But let me see who aren't getting paid from from government shutdown. Because that's a really interesting question. Because we got a lot of government doing a lot of things, and if people aren't getting paid, why is nobody screaming? Like, "I'm coming to work, I'm doing all these things," and yeah, so you have some that are furloughed, that are prohibited from reporting to work and are not being paid, so basically you're at home and you're not getting paid, or you have those that must work without pay if they are considered essential. So essential, that's ICE. That's, you know 'Cause that's not that's, or like cybersecurity, things like that. So you're coming to work and you're not getting paid. And that's if you get retroactive pay because sometimes they're not gonna do that. So it's getting weird. It's getting weird out here. And then they're saying that even the military that was getting paid, that they did finally pay them, there's discrepancies in their pay, which isn't shocking. Cause and then you can't even argue because who's there to give you your check? Like you can't, like the phone's not working. It's a mess. But outside of that, I mean, even with the companies that aren't hiring, I just think that we need to go back to basics and the understanding that the human is the key to success in a successful society, you know, and that means focusing on the good aspects of us as humans and who we are and what makes us human. It's just strange that we're so focused on hating each other and doing things because we don't like someone or because someone believes something else, when all actuality we should still find a way to collaborate, have empathy and respect for others. That's the real thing that's allowed real civilizations to reign. And I'm not talking about Western world civilizations, but I'm talking about those that are rooted in the understanding of humanity and Mother Earth and all of that, and the understanding. I mean, yeah, there was even wars then, but I'm saying, why real civilizations were thriving before the Western world came and conquered, right? They were able to collaborate, have empathy for others, and respect for others. Of course, you had different tribes and things that were crazy. I mean, that's what the world is. There's always evil somewhere, there's always someone that wants to conquer someone else. So, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying those that are able to thrive is because they're able to just be human and understand each other and want to work with others and want to truly, 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 truly make the world a better place, just being happy, not stealing from others, not trying to conquer others, not trying to overpower others, just doing what is right for society as a whole. And we have lost touch with that. It is crazy out here. All we see is hate and destruction. And those that are showing up in spaces to try to thrive and live a good life are just going through the motions. I saw a statistic that said that 45% of people cry at their desk. And I was like, what? You're showing up to work and you're crying. That lets you know how unhappy you are, how unsatisfied you are, how much of a depressing place that you're in, that they don't care about you, they don't respect you, that you have to cry at your desk. That is scary, and I would not want anyone to have to keep going through that and feeling like that, and we need to do better as a society if people are showing up and crying. That's just crazy, it's unnecessary, and we need to do better. We need to do better. We really need to do better because that's just crazy. Crying at your desk. And I was like, that what? So that means everyone, I mean, like majority of your workforce, majority of the people that you know at work, whether it's your supervisor or whatever, hence why they're probably a bitch and mean or whatever, is because they're crying at their desk. They're that upset, they're crying. Or they're somewhere in the stall, the bathroom stall, crying if they don't have a desk, or just screaming like, "Ah!" Because of what they're going through in their life, and that's another reason why they're showing up and being mean and, you know, just just not a happy person, and I think it's always been that way. I just think that more studies are being conducted and that information is coming out, and it helps to understand why the workplace is so unhealthy, why corporations have policies that they put in place, why they move in the directions that they move, because there's people at the helm that are crying at their desk, that are unhappy. And they're taking those emotions out on those around them because they're unhealthy individuals. So they're creating unhealthy spaces. And this is going on throughout the country because the study was based in America, going on throughout the country. And it makes total sense. People are very unhappy. People are very mad. Everything is very expensive. What side, whatever you lie on politically, that is driving your emotions, all of the economic change and things that are going on. So yeah, people are crying at their desk and we got to do better. We got to do better by that. And then that's even if you even still have a desk because so many people are losing their jobs. So it's crazy. And I don't even know how to go about that, but to say, some of the best tools that you can use. Sadly, even though AI is causing a lot of detriment in a lot of neighborhoods and stuff, and that's just because of greed and ignorance, because we can have AI and the world not be destroyed because of it. That's just greed and intentional. I truly believe that it's intentional when we continue to follow the lines of why companies do the things that they do out of hate for others. So choosing to have destructive ways, is not without ill will. It's not without, you know, the understanding for that disregard. But aside from that, we as people need to look towards technology and how that can make the world a better place without losing sight of the human and recognizing that us, the human, still have to be at the helm of that, still have to be the ones ensuring that there's no bias and ensuring that there's oversight, ensuring that there is an off switch and that it cannot just continuously do whatever it wants. But we do need to look to that. Even starting down with looking at and investing in and looking at ways to create clean ways to use AI. Because I mean, even the AI would probably tell you itself because we've made it that damn smart. But, there's no reason for destruction just to have technology, except that those that are creating the destruction are intentionally wanting it, in my opinion, so that they're the only ones that can be enriched. No one else can find the answer, you know, the golden chalice. Well, mm, something to think about. But outside of that, I mean, we need to look at ways to have sustainable green forms of technology and not and energy as well. I mean, it makes no sense that we have these technologies already available and we're not utilizing them. And I feel like it is intentional. I'm going to keep saying that because the technology is there. We're just not using it. Just like the technology is there to kill certain forms of cancers and things like that, and we just don't use it. And it obviously is intentional, I would assume. In my opinion, it would be assumed that it's intentional, right? Because it all boils down to money, because the more people that are sick, the more money you can make off of them. So that can go into the destruction of areas and stuff for the sake of technology to continue the cycle. I wouldn't want to think that, but how can you not assume that? But that's just something to think about, that everything that's going on is intentional. And you just have to know how to prepare yourself so that you don't get lost in that intention, but you're still able to survive and thrive and don't fall victim. I think that's the lesson of the day. And I think I've said enough. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here now. Love yourself and others. Bye.